So why do I say there's no such thing as gay marriage? I say that because marriage is by definition the union of a man and woman. That's what it is. Likewise, there's no such thing as a square circle. A circle is a round-shaped figure that has no corners or edges. That's what it is. A square has four sides that are all parallel and equal to each other. That's what a square is. The nature and characteristic of marriage is that it is a union between two very different but compatible people, a man and a woman. That's what it is. It's not something else. Gay marriage is an oxymoron. The words gay and marriage don't go together. The words square and circle don't go together. Those words don't make sense when they're used that way. That marriage is a union between a man and a woman is not just some arbitrary or random designation or label. It has objective and scientific meaning to it. For example, no other relationship has the potential, capacity, and responsibility to do what a man and a woman can do. What can they do? Bring life into existence. Propagate the human race. No other union is equal to that. That's not being hateful, bigoted, or intolerant. That's what marriage is. It is biologically and anatomically true to say that men and women were designed for one another. They become one flesh bound together by their marriage vows and their shared responsibility to create and care for their family. To expand the definition of marriage to include relationships between adults that may have a strong emotional connection but don't have the male and female component undermines what marriage and family really is. There are differences between gay marriage and marriage. For example, first, gay marriage involves people of the same sex. On the other hand, marriage is between a man and a woman. Second, in gay marriage, there's never any possibility of procreation. In marriage, there is. There are big differences that gay activists and people on the left consider to be irrelevant and insignificant. They say marriage doesn't have to be between a man and a woman, nor does it have to be procreative. But there are differences, really. Or let me say it like this. But are the differences really irrelevant and insignificant? In a country where people buy new iPhones because they're slightly different from the iPhone they bought a year ago, or a TV because it has slightly clearer picture, in other words, they see all those little differences as being significant as to warrant spending hundreds of dollars on a new iPhone, but the differences between heterosexual and homosexual couples is insignificant? Really? The differences could not be more obvious. You see, marriage by definition is the union of a man and woman and is procreative. That's what marriage is. Marriage is something. Gay relationships are something else. They are not the same. Well, what about love, they ask. Two men, just like a man and a woman, have a right to love each other. That takes us, once again, back to the nature of marriage. Love is not the same between a homosexual and a heterosexual couple. Love between a man and a woman creates life, propagates the human race, makes families. That's the foundation, the root, the anchor that grounds and sustains society. In a practical sense, the love between two men doesn't do anything. It may enrich them in some way, but a sexual union between two men cannot create a human life. It's a relationship that, in fact, suppresses life. That's unnatural. That's not what marriage is. Marriage is not just about feelings of love. Love is not based on how you feel, but on how you act and the choices that you make. In other words, the feeling of love is not the essence of marriage. If it is, then if you have a loving feeling toward a person, there's no reason to get married because you are already experiencing marriage. On the other hand, when the feeling of love fades away, you break up. Marriage should feel good, and when it doesn't, there's no reason to stay together. You see, society has a stake in marital love. Society is strengthened by marital love. Marital love is a commitment between a man and a woman. It's procreative. When one feels a lot of love, or when love begins to fade, a choice is made to remain faithful, to stay together for the sake of your husband or wife and children. Marriage is an institution meant to bind a husband to his wife, a wife to her husband, and a father and mother to their children. It's good for society. You see, if a man desires to love another man, fine, go love him. It's a free country. You have the right to love anyone you want. There never was a law preventing two men from loving one another. If marriage is only a loving union between two men, why would anyone ask for it to be legalized? It's not illegal, never was, and never would have been. Let me close by saying this. Just as there is no such thing as gay marriage, there is no such thing as traditional marriage. When you tack the word tradition onto marriage, it implies there is another kind of marriage. There's non-traditional marriage and there's traditional marriage. And that the non-traditional, although it may be different, is nevertheless legitimate. The words traditional and marriage, like gay and marriage and square and circle, do not go together. There is no such thing as traditional marriage. There is only marriage. Thank you for watching. Be sure to follow me. It really helps to promote my videos.